I'm Paul Dable, and I'm going to show you the unseen coast of the Palm Beaches.
Looking out upon the vast Atlantic Ocean from land can be a spiritual experience when it comes to a beautiful sunrise, big waves, or pelicans soaring across the water. Drone pilot and ocean enthusiast Paul Dable takes viewers on breathtaking aerial journeys over Florida's coastline, capturing stunning marine life, uncovering hidden ocean mysteries, and revealing the beauty of the sea from above.
You know, I live in Jupiter, Florida, and we're really lucky here. We have the Gulf Stream. It comes very close to the shore here, and that brings in warm, clear water and a lot of life. As far as fish species near shore, there's jack crevalles, tarpon, and just a very, very wide variety that you can see right off the beach. And then when it comes to sharks, I mean, there's like 6 or 8 species of sharks. You know, hammerhead, bull shark, lemon shark. There's so many species you can see just right off the coast here. There's whales too. I mean, I've had amazing encounters with right whales. There's humpback whales.
From tracking migrating sharks to uncovering sunken relics, Paul's aerial perspective gives viewers a whole new way to see the sea.
Once you get that perspective from a drone, when you're up above the water a couple hundred feet, it opens up a whole new world because you can see things from that perspective that you can't see otherwise. You know, flying a drone can be intimidating, but the technology has gotten so good that it's really quite simple to fly a drone these days.
Paul Dable became a certified drone pilot as he grew his photography business. Zooming in with his camera-toting drone, Paul Dable spots some of the stars of his videos swimming in the turquoise waters off Coral Cove Park in Tequesta.
If you want to fly a drone, you don't need a special license or anything unless you're going to use the drone for commercial purposes, i.e. making money. Then you have to get something called a Part 107 certificate, which is issued by the FAA. And I have that because I use my drone for commercial purposes. It allows you to film for people and make money.
Dable's work offers a window into the dynamic and diverse ecosystem of the Palm Beach County coastline, highlighting the intricate interactions between species and the importance of preserving natural environments.
The beaches here in this particular part of Southeast Florida are some of the most heavily trafficked, or have the most turtle nests of really anywhere in the world. The green turtles and the leatherbacks. Several other species come here every year, and they crawl up onto the beach at night and they lay their eggs. And flying the drone above the beaches during this time of the year is just amazing to see all of the turtle trails.
The Tequesta resident has turned his underwater and drone videography passions into popular social media pages that celebrate Palm Beach County's waterfront wonders. He has more than 250,000 followers on Facebook and Instagram, and his videos have drawn millions of views.
Facebook, Twitter, X, YouTube, I mean, that is the main place that people go for this type of content. And it's a great channel for me to communicate with my audience and share some of these exciting things I've been able to film. It's really tough to make a living, to make some serious money, but I'm able to generate enough of an income to help pay the bills, help pay for the camera equipment. For me, it's just very fulfilling to bring this type of content to a wide audience. Very thankful for all my followers, and I feel really lucky that I've just ended up in a situation where I have all these wonderful toys and cameras, and I can go out and do this and spend a lot of time doing it. It's a blast.
One of Dable's notable works includes documenting the mullet run, a seasonal event where large schools of baitfish migrate through the waves. This phenomenon attracts various predators, creating a dynamic and exciting natural spectacle.
One of the most exciting times of the year here is something called the mullet run. It's a type of bait fish, and they migrate down the coast from north going south during the fall months. And you'll see just giant schools migrating right off the beach, and they bring in a lot of predators. The predators include sharks and tarpon and jack crevalles and other fish. And these predators will come upon these schools and then attack. And so that's definitely one of my favorite times of the year to film.
He also highlights the piers in Lake Worth and Juno Beach and the reefs in between, where he drops waterproof cameras into the waters at high tide when they are clearest.
Yeah, one of the things I started doing with my underwater cameras is lowering the cameras off of bridges and piers. Those places, oftentimes, they don't allow people to snorkel or dive underneath these bridges and piers. So really the only way you can do it is to lower a camera. So I've kind of created some different apparatus type things to hold my cameras. I lower them into the water and let them sit for 30 or 40 minutes, moving them around a few times. The variety of life is really impressive. Snook, tarpon, and Goliath groupers, there really is just a really wide variety underneath these bridges and piers.
Paul Dable dives deep into our natural wonders.
The Goliath groupers, they're a really interesting fish. They get to be huge. They can be like 600 or 700 pounds. Unfortunately, they were hunted and fished to almost extinction many years ago. So they've been a highly protected species, and it's actually worked because their population has rebounded. And so, we see them all the time now when we're spearfishing and diving. And again, I see them when I lower my cameras off the piers and bridges. They're really good photography subjects because they are so big, and because they're not hunted, they don't really get scared. So you can kind of go right up to them and see them and experience their presence. So they're one of my favorite animals to see.
Dable got the idea to attach a GoPro camera to his spear gun whilst hunting fish. A mile out of the Jupiter Inlet, Paul saw the floating carcass of a 250-pound Goliath grouper. Tiger sharks were feeding on it. He had his spear gun ready, shot a 25-pound cobia, and got it in the boat. It was a wild moment, and the adrenaline is still pumping.
I've had some really amazing encounters while spearfishing. Typically, we spearfish nowadays. We go out offshore a little bit further. Many times we're 3 or 4 miles out. When you're out further out, you're exposed to a lot more really interesting animals. Just this past year, I had 2 of my best encounters, or most exciting encounters ever. One was with a great white shark, which I knew were in our waters, but I hadn't seen one until last year. We were out spearfishing at a shipwreck, and I speared a fish, and next thing I know, there's a 12-foot great white swimming around us, and it was absolutely amazing. Just a few weeks after that, again, we went out to go spearfishing, and we came across a carcass of a large dead fish, and there were sharks feeding on it, and there was 5 or 6 tiger sharks. One of the species of fish that was with the tiger sharks was a cobia, and this is a highly prized fish that we try to spear, and I was able to spear the cobia right off the back of the tiger shark. So those 2 experiences definitely are the top for me. I guess I'm just really intrigued with the ocean. I guess I have been my whole life. When I was a kid, it was always a dream of mine to live in Florida. And when I finally ended up here and was able to experience the ocean and all of its wonders firsthand, it was just super exciting to me. I love fishing and spearfishing, but I also love the challenge of capturing some of these things with my cameras. And so I get a lot of joy and satisfaction of getting that shot of that particular shark or that particular fish. It's just, it's really fun for me.
Dable prefers not to use scuba tanks. His tools are a face mask, fins, and a snorkel. He has free dived to a whopping 141 feet.
One of my favorite places to film and photograph is along our inlets. We're fortunate in Southeast Florida, we've got like 4 in our immediate area. We have the Jupiter Inlet, the Lake Worth Inlet, which is sometimes called the Palm Beach Inlet, the Boynton Inlet. So these are really exciting places because it's kind of a channel for life to go between the ocean and the intercoastal. And there's typically a lot of life to see in there. You know, you have to learn how the tides work because there's only certain times of the tide where you can actually get clear water and see this amazing ecosystem that exists there. But it's one of my favorite places to film, and I have a lot of exciting content in the inlet from the last several years. I love filming manatees. They're a great subject matter. They're just so big and lovable. Along the coast, along the beaches, in the intercoastal, in the inlets, it's really impressive to see how they are basically everywhere in our marine environment. There's exciting stuff to see along our coasts all year round. Every part of the year has something to offer. It's really a great place. I'm never bored trying to find something to film because throughout the year there's always something going on. I love being able to educate people on what is right off our coast because a lot of people, even people that have been in Florida for 50 years, they really have no idea about what goes on in the water. So the reaction oftentimes is just one of surprise and wonder because they just didn't know. And it's really satisfying to be able to show people what we've got here and, you know, hopefully motivate people to want to conserve and protect what we have.